Good day, greetings students. I am very happy to meet you all again in grade 12 economics. We are in part B, IED, the Indian Economic Development. So what are we going to do now in this session is that we are going to continue our discussion about employment. So we have completed 2 units and we are in unit 3 discussing about the current challenges that is faced by the Indian economy. We have already discussed 2 such challenges, namely poverty and rural development. The third challenge faced by Indian economy is employment. Why is employment being a challenge? To create employment opportunities for everybody, to give that feel that everyone is employed and there is no unemployment and there is no disguised employment and all those things. So because if employment opportunities are good, people will come out of poverty, they will earn a living. Employment opportunities illadadunala da nariya peru below poverty line la irukanga, right? So if we create an employment opportunity, we can alleviate those people from poverty. avangala poverty line ku mela nammalaala kondu vara mudiyum. Okay, that is what we are discussing in this particular chapter, and in the previous session we have discussed about what do we mean by employment and who can be called as workers. So whoever involves or contributes towards the national income, whoever involves in any sort of economic activity are called as workers, and if they are whatever work they are in, that's called an employment. Economic activity adu irukanumnu nama solrom. Okay, doing something towards building the economy. Okay, that is actually called as economic activity, and those who contribute, those who participate in any kind of economic activity is called a worker. Okay, in this session we are going to discuss 2 topics. One is the participation of people in employment, and the second topic is discussing about who are called self-employed and who are called hired employees. So we will start this session with discussing about the participation of people in employment. Why do we want to know this? Then only you can calculate the per capita income. So it is essential for us to know the people who are engaged actively in employment. So it's a topic, participation of people in employment. There are different kinds of work, different kinds of activities being done. So யாரெல்லாம் நம்ம டிசைட் பண்ண முடியும்? இதில் நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்க போகிறது என்ன அப்படின்னா, the worker population ratio. What is the population and how many people are working? So we are going to know the worker population ratio. What are we going to identify? We are going to identify the worker population ratio. So this is an indicator which is used for analyzing the employment situation in the country. Tells about the employment situation in the country. This tells how many people are employed and how many are not employed. Then only you can create employment opportunities, isn't it? And you need to contribute, you need to verify the active contributors towards national income. That is also essential. So the ratio is useful in knowing the proportion of population that is actively contributing to the production of goods and services of a country. So if the ratio is higher, it means that the engagement of people is greater. So this ratio shows the proportion of people actively contributing towards the production of goods and services. So whoever actively participates, their proportion will identify through this ratio. Because workers means who? Those who contribute towards national income, those who involve in economic activities. That is our discussion. So நம்மளோட worker population ratio நம்ம என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்குவோம்? What is the population of the country? Out of that, how many people are called workers? எவ்வளோ பேர் ஆக்டிவாக கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுறாங்க, எவ்வளோ பேரோட இன்கம் நேஷ்னல் இன்கமில் நம்மளால் ஆட் பண்ண முடியுங்கிற வெரிஃபிகேஷன் இஸ் given by this worker population ratio. Okay, so either வச்சு தான் நம்மளால் engagement of people we can decide. If the ratio is higher, it means the engagement is higher. If it is low, then the participation is also low. So if the worker population ratio is very low, அப்படின்னா there are not many people who participate in economic activities in அர்த்தம். We know the meaning of population, isn't it? It is the total number of people who reside in a particular locality at a particular point of time. So ஒவ்வொரு districtக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு stateக்கும் population நம்ம சொல்கிறோம். So population means what? Number of people. Number of people living in a particular area. அதுவே when you take worker, people who involve in economic activities. Fine. So இது தெரிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா நம்மளால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? You can create your worker population ratio. So how do you do your worker population ratio? The worker population ratio is given by number of workers divided by the total population. Number of workers divided by total population into 100. So how do you calculate the worker population ratio? Number of workers divided by total population into 100. So this entire value is multiplied into 100. worker population ratio of 2011 and 2012. You can verify the recent worker population ratio. If you are not getting it, I will share it in the next session, but I want you to try first of all about the worker population ratio. So as per 2011 and 12, we have seen the total and rural worker population ratio, urban worker population ratio, men evlavu, women evlavu, all these things have been shown under table 7.1. What we have to understand from this அப்படின்னா, the number of economic activities urban areasல maximum இருக்கா இல்ல rural areasல maximum இருக்கா, and from where do you have the contribution, அதை நம்ம calculate பண்ணுறோம். Okay, so if you see in urban areas the proportion is about 36, whereas in rural India the ratio is about 40. People in rural areas have limited resources to earn a higher income and participate more in the employment market. So urban market vida urban areas vidave rural community la the ratio is higher. So if you compare, urban la 36 and rural la 40 irukku. So this percentage difference is because rural area the employment opportunities are very less. So ellarume vande involve aanum. The level of earning income நம்ம urban society la vaangra salary kum avanga vaangra salary kum there is a vast difference. Okay, so they have to they have only limited resource to earn a higher income and participate more in income market. So rural areas or rural people participate more in income market. So what kind of thing it is there? Many do not go to schools, colleges and other training institutes in villages. Anga pata they don't have these kind of opportunities. Abdingrappo they come so early into the workforce. They discontinue in the middle to join the workforce. Rural society ஏன் இப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, they don't have that kind of options, okay, to go for higher education. And urban society la there are n number of opportunities as well as the awareness is spread very well. Adanala inge workforce ku vara will take some time. But rural societies sometimes they discontinue due to the family situation or due to the lack of opportunities and they join workforce very soon. Okay, so in urban areas a considerable section is able to study in various educational institutions. Urban people have a variety of employment opportunities. They look for the appropriate jobs. What do we do? Income and market. Urban people look for jobs that would suit them. அவங்களுக்கு எது சூட் ஆகும்னு பார்த்துட்டு தான் நம்ம ஒர்க்குக்கே வருவோம், isn't it? But in rural society the opportunities are very less. So they don't have any other way but just to go for an employment as soon as we get one. அங்கே எந்த யோசனையும் இல்லை. The choice is very less in rural society. But in urban areas the choice of employment is huge. இந்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி இல்லைன்னா அடுத்த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி, இந்த கம்பெனி இல்லைன்னா அடுத்த கம்பெனி. The choice is huge there. So the employment or the workforce is very very less. ஏன்னா எனக்கு சாய்ஸ் இருக்குங்கிறப்போ I won't bend according to the job. I want a job that bends according to me. என்னது, எனக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி வேலையை நான் தேடுவேனே தவிர வேலைக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி என்ன நான் மாற்றிக்க மாட்டேன். பிகாஸ் த சாய்ஸஸ் ஆர் மோர். அதனால தான் ஒர்க்கர் பாப்புலேஷன் ரேஷியோவில் ரூரல் சொசைட்டி இஸ் ஹையர் தேன் தி அர்பன் ஏரியாஸ். Okay, people cannot stay at home as their economic condition may not allow in rural societies. சரி, எனக்கு சூட்டார ஜாப் வரட்டும் நம்ம ரூரல் சொசைட்டியில் யோசிக்க முடியாது. பிகாஸ் their daily living is based on the income that they earn. But in urban areas it is not like that. Okay, that is the first study we get. இந்த worker population ரேஷியோவில் நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன, the rural people participate more in income market or employment market because they don't have much of an option or choice. They need to work. ஏதோ ஒரு வேலை அவங்க செஞ்சு தான் ஆகணும். So there is no other option but to go for a work. When you come for urban society, it is entirely different. அவங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம், they can choose the job that suits them. The choice is more. Okay, and they have these educational opportunities. So நம்ம வந்து higher studies முடிச்சிட்டு PG UG PhD எல்லாம் முடிச்சிட்டு ஜாபுக்கு வரவங்களும் இருக்காங்க. Whereas in rural society that is not the case. Some people they discontinue their studies just to join the workforce because of their family situation. And one more thing is that compared to females, more males are found to be working. Men are more than women in workforce. Because what? Again, like the reasons are many things. You can say women are not allowed, women are not given that much of employment opportunities, educational status, everything differs. So for every 100 urban female, only 15 are engaged in some economic activities. For every 100 rural women, about 25 participate in the employment market. So idhiliyum paatha rural women participate more in economic activities. More in employment market than urban women because the income status and the work given. So இங்க வந்து குழந்தைய கூட கூட்டிட்டு போய் அவங்களால அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேபராக ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியும். Okay, they take the child with them, but the urban society doesn't allow that. Fine, the men are able to earn high income. Families discourage female members for taking up jobs. Adu oru point na. What is the second point? In rural society, much of the workforce is engaged. அவங்க இன்கம் ஸ்டேட்டஸ்க்காக விமெனும் ஒர்க் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். பட் அர்பன் சொசைட்டியில் இன்கம்ஸ் ஆர் மோர். ஸோ இன்கம் ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்கிற வீட்டில் விமென் ஒர்க் பண்ணணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லை. டாக் அபவுட் செல்ஃப் டிபெண்டன்ஸ், செல்ஃப் ஒர்த் அதெல்லாம் அப்புறம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங், பேசிக் ப்ரைம் நீட் ஃபார் எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் ஆர் ஒர்க்கிங் இஸ் டு earn. ஸோ அர்பன் சொசைட்டியில் when men are earning more, a woman does not have to work. Okay, but I don't want to agree to that. When you take the next point of being self dependent and having a self worth, it won't apply there. Whether a woman or a man, a self respect is applicable for both. But the nature generally நம்ம பார்க்க போனால் why rural women participate more அப்படின்னா because of their family condition they need to earn, they have to earn extra because whatever the men of the family earns is not enough. அப்படிங்கிறப்போ they don't have an opportunity, அவங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். பட் urban women does not have that condition because urban men tend to earn higher. அப்படிங்கிறப்போ they can run the family only with the men's salary. They don't want to work. Women do not want to work. So household activities are done by women, but that is not an economic activity. The household work done by women isn't considered as an economic activity. So the work illa considered as an economic activity, even though we just argue that we should be paid, it won't work out. Women who work at home are not paid for it. Why? They say it is for my family, it is for my children, it is for my husband, it is for my parents. So it is for somebody else. Nana interest eduthu pandren. It is not a work for me. It is a satisfaction for me. It is a duty for me. Abdi solrappo, how can it be an economic activity? Isn't it? We don't expect anything in return. Only when you expect something in return, it becomes an economic activity. Especially when you expect money in return for your work, then it is considered to be economic activity. Okay, but they too contribute to the maintenance of household, but it is not taken into consideration as an economic activities is a very saddened truth. Okay, so our discussion and participation of people in employment has revealed that how to find the worker population ratio. This calculation நம்ம எப்படி பண்ணணும்? Second thing, அந்த calculationலேருந்து நமக்கு தெரியுறது என்ன அப்படின்னா, rural people are engaged more in workforce than urban people. ஏன்னா the opportunities are very limited, the income status is very limited. So it is essential that most of them take part in earning. Illatna they can't live. Okay, whereas the urban society is not like that. They spend part of their time in education and they will wait for a job that suits them. Fine, they have a choice. So abdingrappo the urban workforce is comparatively less. And when you talk about men-women ratio, men are found to be more than working women. Yena maximum because of this urban men. Rural women, at least we can see, rural women are higher in ratio than the urban women. Yena rural women do not have any other opportunity or they don't have any other way. அவங்களோட ஃபேமிலி ரன் பண்ணுறதுக்காக, அவங்க ஃபேமிலியோட இன்கம் ஸ்டேட்டஸ்க்காக they need to work. They don't have an option whether to work or not to work. Understood? And finally, the household work that is done by women is actually not considered as an employment because it does not contribute towards an economic activity, and moreover these women are not paid to do that work. If நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு ஒரு maid வராங்க அப்படின்னா we pay them, then that is an economic activity. ஆனால் அதே வேலையை நம்ம வீட்டில் இருக்கிற விமன் செஞ்சால் we do not accept that as an employment. ஏன்னா நம்ம அவங்களுக்கு பே பண்ணுறது கிடையாது. But the fact is, whatever expenses saved by them should also be calculated. Is what the argument kept forward, and it may take a long time before we consider their work also an economic activity. Okay, now we are going to discuss about self-employed and hired workers. Self-employed and hired workers. So, after knowing the work worker population ratio, we need to know the status with which a worker is placed in an enterprise. Not that everybody is in the same status. Ellarum workers. என்ன மாதிரியான ஒர்க்கர்ஸ்? ஒரு ஓனரும் எக்கனாமிக் ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுறாரு, லாஸ்ட் லெவல் எம்ப்ளாயும் ஒரு எக்கனாமிக் ஆக்டிவிட்டி கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணுறாரு. ஸோ இஸ் தேர் எனி டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேஷன் இன் தெம்? Okay, what is the status do they have in that particular enterprise? How do we actually call them? What is the authority given? All this is actually the next discussion. So we are going to discuss about the status given to an employee in an enterprise along with authority means the right to do something. Okay, the right to take decisions without asking someone is called actually the authority. So what is the authority given to a person in an enterprise, in an organization? Tells the status of the employee. Okay, the nature of the employment is what we are going to discuss now. There are three workers, okay, three kinds of workers we have here based on the status. Three kinds of workers based on the status. Now you run a company. In your company you have you are doing an export business. So unga company la regularly for production you have some person and periodically you use someone for packaging, for transporting. And the lorry service or a particular time ku dhan neenga use pandringa appadina there are three levels illaya. You, the regularly paid employee, okay, and the rarely used service. Moonu level irukku. So the first level, that is you, the owner, is called self employed. Yaar ungalku vela kuduthirukanga? You yourself gave the work. Nobody gave you the employment opportunity, you created it. Okay, when you create your own employment opportunity, then you are called self employed. ஒரு கடை வச்சிருக்கிற ஷாப்கீப்பரை நம்ம எப்படி சொல்றோம்? செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்ட்னு சொல்றோம். Fine, we can earn our own livelihood not depending on others. யாரையும் டிபெண்ட் பண்ணாமல் நானே ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷன் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி என்னோட பிஸ்னஸை நான் ரன் பண்ணுறேன்னா then I am called to be self-employed. Fine, நான் வந்து self-employed. The second category is the salaried, regularly salaried employees. Regular salaried employees. ஸோ சொன்னோம் இல்லையா, ரெகுலராக ப்ரொடக்ஷனுக்குன்னு நம்ம சில பேரை யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம், சில பேரை நம்மளோட ஆர்கனைசேஷன் ரெக்ரூட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. we regularly pay them, they regularly work with us அப்படின்னா they are regular salaried employees. And then we have the casual wage laborers. So you have the casual வேஜ் லேபர்ஸ். நான் யூஸ் பண்ணுறேன் இல்லையா டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டேஷனுக்காக, ஸோ அங்கே அந்த வண்டியில் நான் இருக்கிற டிரைவருக்கு நான் அந்த 1 டேக்கு பே பண்ணுறதோ இல்லை அந்த பர்டிகுலர் டைம் ஃப்ரேம்க்கு நான் பே பண்ணுறதோ நான் என்னென்ன சொல்லலாம், கேஷுவல் வேஜ் லேபரர்ஸ்ன்னு நான் சொல்ல முடியும். ஓகே, ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேஷன்? செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்டு அப்படின்னா ஐ டோன்ட் டிபெண்ட் ஆன் எனிபடி, ஐ கிரியேட் மை ஓன் ஏர்னிங் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி அப்படின்னா ஐ ஆம் செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்டு. த செகண்ட் category is a regular salaried employees அப்படின்னா I work in an organization and every month I am a permanent employee there and every month I draw a salary அப்படின்னா regular salaried employee. Whereas a casual wage laborers அப்படின்னா periodically I get work, for that particular day's work I get my earnings. ஸோ அவங்கள வந்து நம்ம கேஷுவல் வேஜ் லேபரர்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ த எக்ஸாம்பிள் கிவன் இன் யோர் புக் இஸ் அ சிமெண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. ஸோ தி ஓனர் ஆஃப் த சிமெண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி இஸ் செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்ட். ஓனருங்கிறப்போ he becomes self employed. The engineers, the civil engineers who work in the project is called a salaried employee. ஸோ அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் முடிகிற வரைக்கும் they are going to be regularly with them அப்படின்னா they are the regularly salaried employees. Finally, people who work at the construction site are called as casual wage laborers. ஏன்னா அந்த வீடு கட்டி முடிச்சதும் அவங்களோட வேலை முடிஞ்சிடுச்சு, the employment is over. அவங்க ஒரு பெர்மனெண்ட்டாக ஒரே கன்சர்னோட ஒர்க் பண்ண போகிறது இல்லை. Today they are here and next time they will change. Okay, that is the difference between casual wage laborers. Now if you take professionals, they will come under which category? They will also workers இல்லையா? So if they have, இப்போ ஒரு டாக்டர் எடுக்கிறோம் அப்படின்னா if he has a separate clinic, okay, he has a clinic அப்படின்னா he is self-employed. Whereas he is working for the government or any particular hospital, அந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டலில் அவரும் ஒரு டாக்டராக இருக்காருன்னா he is a regular salaried employee. Okay, a professional also will come under this category நம்ம சொல்கிறோம். ஏன்? Because they do contribute towards the national income. Their activity is also called economic activity. Understood? நம்ம என்ன சொல்கிறோம், goods and servicesங்கிறப்போ all these people are included. So when we say employees, it is not only meaning people who are working, who are doing a job, but people who are into a profession are also called as employees. Okay, what are the categories? We have self-employed, we have regular salaried employees, then we have the casual wage laborers. Okay, so according to this graph, what do we understand? In urban society, who is maximum? Urban workers, the highest number of category in urban workers is the regular salaried employees. அவங்க தான் maximum. ஏன்னா they look for jobs and they get into it. Okay, regular salaried employees. The second category is self-employed. Actually they both are more or less same la da irukku, so we will put both under topic 1. And in urban areas the casual wage laborers are comparatively less. Casual wage laborers. So talking about rural workers, we obviously know that self-employed are more. அவங்களோட அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேண்டில் ஃபார்மிங் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா அவங்க செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்ட் தானே. தே ஹாவ் தேர் ஓன் வீவிங், தே ஹாவ் தேர் கேட்டில் ஃபார்ம், ஸோ தேர் செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்ட். தட் இஸ் இன் த மேக்ஸிமம் லிமிட். தென் வி ஹாவ் த கேஷுவல் வேஜ் லேபரர்ஸ், அந்த அந்த ஃபார்மில் வேலை செய்கிறவங்க. ஸோ வி ஹாவ் கேஷுவல் வேஜ் laborers, and finally employees are very less in rural society. We know why. அங்கே அந்த அளவுக்கு இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸோ அந்த மாதிரியான விஷயங்கள் இருக்காது. ஆர் ரூரல் ஏரியா பொறுத்தளவு கேஷுவல் வேஜ் லேபரர்ஸ் இருப்பாங்க. பட் ஹேவிங் salaried workers is very very less. Okay, so the major source of livelihood for both men and women as this category, for more than 50% of the workforce in both diagrams, which is more than 50% self-employed. Okay, so casual wage work is the second major source. So அடுத்தது self-employed தாண்டி second level எது? Casual wage laborers. The third level is the regular salaried employees. That is the third level, because regular salaried employees require skill. Casual wage laborers க்கு skill எதுவும் வேண்டியது கிடையாது. Regular salaried employees require certain skills and certain qualifications. அப்போ தான் அவங்கள நம்ம ரெகுலராக ப்ளேஸ் பண்ணுவோம் நம்மளோட எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட்டில். அண்ட் women are not placed much in salaried employments according to a book, because the lack in education can be a point. So when we compare the distribution of workforce in rural and urban areas in chart 7.2, you will notice that the self-employed and casual wage laborers are found more in rural areas than in urban areas. நம்ம ஏற்கனவே டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண மாதிரி self-employed and casual wage laborers வந்து ரூரல் ஏரியாவில் ஜாஸ்தி, because of the nature of work there. ரைட், அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேண்ட் இருக்கும். ஸோ அவங்க செல்ஃப் எம்ப்ளாய்ட். அந்த அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்டில் பீரியாடிக்காக ஒரு ஒர்க் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நம்ம கூப்பிடுறது ஒரு கேஷுவல் வேஜ் லேபரர். ஸோ அதனால் இது ரெண்டும் மேக்ஸிமமாக இருக்குது. salaried employment பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா இட் இஸ் மோர் இன் urban workers. ஏன்? The opportunities, we have already seen that there is an educational opportunity in urban society. So educational opportunity இருக்குங்கிறப்போ we build our skills there. Right, நம்ம skills develop பண்ணுறப்போ we get this regular and salaried employment. Okay, the nature of work in urban areas is different. Everyone cannot run factories, so we need to be the employees, regular salaried employees. And self-employed எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்க முடியாது. Casual labors are very less compared to rural workers. So எது மேக்ஸிமம் இருக்குன்னு நம்ம பார்த்துட்டோம், ஏன் அது மேக்ஸிமமாக இருக்குன்னு நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம். ஃபைன். ஸோ வாட் டு வி கம் டு நோ through this topic, self-employed and hired employers அப்படின்னா, self-employed means one, I start my own business or I take care or initiate my livelihood அப்படின்னா I am self-employed. Hired workers are of two types. Hiredனா என்ன? You hire them. They are not they are not self-employed. இன்னொரு இடத்துக்கு போய் அவங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்கங்கிறப்போ they call hired employees. ஸோ அவங்கள நம்ம எப்படி டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேட் பண்ணுறோம்? We have differentiated them as regular salaried employees and casual wage laborers. So maximum out of these three, self-employed ratio is higher, and second comes the casual wage laborers, and finally the regular salaried employees. ஏன் இது கம்மியாக இருக்குன்னா, regular salaried employment is not possible in rural society. and நம்ம ஏற்கனவே பார்த்த மாதிரி rural workforce is higher than the urban workforce. Alright, so there is no other opportunity for the regular salaried employees. இதுவே casual wage laborers ஏன் ஜாஸ்தி இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, it is higher in rural areas and they do not require much of a skill. ஸோ யாரெல்லாம் செல்ஃப்-எம்ப்ளாய்டாக இருக்க முடியலையோ வில்லேஜில், அவங்க என்னவா இருக்காங்க? அக்ரிகல்ச்சரல் லேபராக இருக்காங்க. Okay, that is the explanation we get from this particular topic of self-employed and hired workers. So the statistics here given is of 2011 and 12. I want you to look at the recent statistics that has come so that we can be updated. Okay, look for it. If you have got the information, let me know so that we'll discuss about it. Other than that, if you have any other doubts in the particular chapter that we have discussed so far, you can let me know. In the next session, we will discuss about employment in firms, factories and offices. So in the salaried employment nama solrom illaya, so we are going to discuss about the secondary sector. Firms, factories ellame edula varum, secondary sector. So we are going to discuss about that in the next session. And growth and changing structure of employment, how is it changing, இதே மாதிரி தான் இருக்கா இல்லை ஏதாவது டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்கான்னு we are going to be discussing in the next session. So if at all you have any doubts, please feel free to reach me out and get your doubts clarified. Thank you and may all have a wonderful day today.